Hello everyone. Okay, we will study unit conversion in SAT problem today. So first, we will review about unit conversion. We learn about how to change the small unit to the big unit. We have to divide. For example, if it is a 16 ounce there, if you want to convert to the how many pounds, then you divide by how many ounce in a pound. And then you have a feet and you want to change it yard, then you can divide. 1 yard has a 3 feet, so you can divide by 3. And then we had a problem like big unit converting to the small unit, then we can multiply, which is you want to change 2.3 miles to the how many yards in total? Big unit miles to the small unit yard, then you can multiply. You have to know how many yards in 1 mile. You can multiply that amount to the 2.3. And if you want to convert the 5 gallons to the number of pints, then you have to multiply still. You have to figure out how many pints in 1 gallon. So if it is a big unit changing to the small unit, then you can multiply. But there's another questions in SAT. They're asking converting square units. So they sometimes ask how many square yards in a given square miles or how many square miles in a given square yards. So we're going to talk about that today. So first, look at this problem here. A fish swam a distance of 5,104 yards. How far did the fish swim in miles? So they gave you a number of miles, which is a 5,104 yards. They want to convert to the mile. Small units to the big units they want to convert. Small to the big, you have to divide. So 5,104 divide by the number of yards in a 1 mile. You have 1,760 yards. So you have to divide by 1,760. Then you get 2.9 miles. Or I can do another different way, which is making proportion. So 1 mile you have 1,760 yards. Then how many miles? It will be in given 5,104 yards. Then you do cross multiply. Express this one as a x. Then 1,760x equal to 5,104. And divide by 1,760, 1,760. And you get x as a 2.9, which is a number of miles in given 5,104 yards will be 2.9 miles. So either way is fine. But remember, if you want to convert big unit to the small unit, multiply. Small unit to the big unit, divide. Another problem here, a distance of 112 furlongs is equivalent to how many feet? They gave you 1 furlong is equal to 220 yards and 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So if you want to change 112 furlong into the how many yards, then this is big unit to the small units. So you have to multiply. So 112 times by 220, that gives you 24,640 yards. And then we have to change yards to the feet because they're asking how many feet. So since we know that yard to the feet, how many number of feet, still you have a big units to the small units, then you have to multiply. So 24,640 yards times by 3 feet. So that will give you 73,920 feet in total. So the answer will be 73,920. If it is changing units from big to the small, then you have to multiply. But this one is a two-step you have to multiply because furlong changing to the yard and yard changing to the feet. And then another problem. A certain town has an area of 4.36 square miles. What is the area in square yards of this town? They have a square mile, not 1 mile, how many miles to the number of yard. They want square miles to the changing to the square yards. So 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards, but we need to know how many square yards in a, I will write this way. How many square yards in a square mile? Then 1 square mile means 1 mile times by 1 mile, which each you can convert to the yard as a 1,760 yard times by 1,760 yard. So if you multiply together, then you will get 3,097,600 square yards. So they want the small units from big unit. Big unit changing to the small units, then you have to multiply. So 4.36 square mile multiply by 3,097,600. If you do that, then you get 13,505,536 square yards. So the answer will be D. So if you want to changing square units to the square unit, if it's a big square unit changing to the small square unit, you have to find the unit conversion rate first, and then you multiply. That's how I do.